Thank you so much for the organizers to make this wonderful and important conference possible. I really enjoy it very much. Today I will be talking about a research project I started some 6 years ago when I was looking at socially engaged Buddhists and Buddhist reform movements transnationally, and my attention was captured by the Thai heterodox Asoke movement. So today I will be talking a little bit about that. But let me start first by introducing something about Buddhism and socially engaged Buddhism. Sustainability-oriented Buddhist activism bases itself on the core features of Buddhist philosophy, the notion of the inextricable interdependence of phenomena and beings, the so-called pratitya samutpada, or co-arising origination. Connected with co-arising origination is the teaching of an-atman, or no self, and according to Buddhist philosophy, due to our fundamental unenlightened state of experiencing reality, what we might call avidya or ignorance, we artificially feel separated from the whole in subject-object dualism. Once the stiff boundaries of the ego are relaxed, non-discrimination between self and others can gradually emerge. Thence, Buddhist knowing expresses itself in active compassion and empathy. And the application and reciprocally performance of compassion becomes dialectically instrumental for the overcoming of ego, ignorance, and suffering. In contemporary socially engaged Buddhism, social justice activism is hence central. Oh, I might actually start the PowerPoint. Well, let's see. How do I do that? Like this? Yeah. Okay, so that was the first slide. Sorry about that. Buddhist, that's socially engaged Buddhism. So Buddhist modernism gave rise to the Buddhist practices and critical constructive thought of ecology, sustainability, and socio-economic justice. Eco-Buddhism is interpolated with anti-capitalist and anti-consumerist stances of modernist Asian Buddhist thought since as early as the 1920s. In particular, in Southeast Asia, Eco-Buddhism is aligned with strong Buddhist modernist critiques of consumerism and Dhammic anti-capitalism and socialism. Examples of Thai eco-Buddhist activism include the protection of the forests through tree ordinations by ecology monks, or Prasong Anurakpa, forest conservation monks in Thai. Another example in this stream of work is the Sacha Savings Cooperative in Trat that supports cultural forest management and runs a microloan scheme based on Buddhist ethics and exemplifies counter-capitalist Buddhist microeconomics. Indeed, eco-sustainability and economic self-sufficiency have become prominent concerns of Thai contemporary Buddhist reform movements. And one of these reform movements is the Asoke community, to which I come now. The Asoke group has been described as fundamentalistic reaction to modernity. Asoke is a radical Buddhism. As radical Buddhism sprouts ascetic tendencies, for instance, lay members are encouraged to limit food consumption to 2 or even just 1 meal per day, vegan. Mainstream Thai Buddhist practices are generally rejected by Asoke. Asoke was founded in 1973 by a reformed TV entertainer from a poor Christian background who converted to Buddhism and ordained in 1970 as Pra-Potirak, or in the Sanskritized form Bodhi-Raksha. Potirak is seen as a notorious troublemaker by the establishment and has been subject to highly politicized expulsions and disrobement orders, the disregards of which landed him with a 6-month jail sentence in the 1990s. Asoke Buddhism focuses on communalism and regards selfless work for the community as meditation and merit-making in itself. For the mainly urban middle-class membership, Asoke offers a strong sense of community belonging, rural simplicity, and work and self-sufficiency. In the interest of time, I think I skipped this slide. Asoke places great emphasis on basic Buddhist teachings, such as the Noble Eightfold Path. Formal meditation is given little value for lay people, since, quote, mindfulness arises from focus on daily tasks rather than concentration on a meditative object, end of quote. Asoke is not raising donations. In fact, the movement refuses to accept money from non-members, including myself when I was doing field work, despite prominently propagating among its membership the virtues of dana or generosity in the form of service to the community and to the wider society. Communal living, vegan, organic diet, and agricultural self-reliance are widely advocated. Asoke's distinctively critical stance against the acceptance and display of luxuries, wealth, and cyberatism in many Thai state monasteries, and its advocacy of anti-consumerist detachment has provoked criticism that Potirak has led his flock too far, to the extremes of asceticism and self-mortification. In response, Asokans point to the satisfaction in lived simplicity while living a deeply meaningful community life. Asokan discourses center around the critique of Thai state Buddhism as degeneration, around anti-consumerism, and around sustainability and self-sufficiency. And the latter, as you might know, is particularly referenced and aligned with the late King Bhumipol's propagation of Thai economic localism as Sitikrit Popyang, sufficiency economy, which the Thai monarch proposed in 1997 as a philosophy based on the principles of moderation, reasonableness, and self-immunity. The socio-economic model of Asoke focuses on giving to society rather than accumulating individual or cooperative wealth. Asoke calls this counter-model to capitalism bunyom, meritism. Bunyom is active training and application of the Noble Eightfold Path in all-day life and economics. Meritism can be summarized as widely quoted Asoke mottos: consume little, work hard, and give the rest to society. In contrast, Bodhipaknyom, consumerism, and Tunyom, capitalism, are criticized as applying deceptive and misleading concepts of success, such as hedonism, power, riches, and limelight, which only strengthen the ego delusion and creates individual and societal suffering, which is the motor of samsara. As Potirak points out, the individual Asoke has to practice the bunyom type of trading until he or she realizes personally that there is no need to compete, no need to accumulate, no need to advertise, that giving is a human virtue. Giving leads to happiness and competition does not, end of quote. Accumulation in meritism, hence, is spiritual, not material in nature. Economic self-sufficiency, Economy is based on Asoke community-owned organic agricultural enterprises, including several recycling stations and organic fertilizer plants. For instance, in 2007, Asoke held more than 160 hectares, and now it's probably around 220. I have to verify the numbers, don't quote me on that, of organic farmland. Asoke's socioeconomic engagement exemplifies starkly the idea of samajiva or samyak ajiva, right living, the fifth link in the Noble Eightfold Path. Asoke promotes the Dhamma through its radio and TV stations and engages the wider public in its propagation of veganism, its propagation of dry waste management, and organic agriculture. Asoke further offers an alternative schooling which emphasizes learning as doing through work placements and workstations. Most strikingly, it interfaces with the wider public through the key economic innovation, the goodwill markets. These alternative shops attached to Asoke centers throughout the country provide an economic counter-model to profit-oriented commercial enterprises. In 2014, there were 6 goodwill markets, the largest at Santi Asoke in Bangkok. As Bong and Sangye Senhanat have shown, how these goodwill markets empower local communities and function indeed as insulators from external crises. The Asoke goodwill markets are meritism par excellence. In these initiatives, labor, services, goods, and time are freely shared for the good of the society. Selling Asoke produces mainly organic food and recycled products, goodwill markets indicate both cost and selling prices. Since the aim is the accumulation of merit, not the accumulation of money, making a monetary loss as seen as meritorious. Connected to goodwill markets are vegan eateries, where merit is accumulated by free or below cost price meals. A volunteer in a goodwill market interviewed by Bong and Sangye Senhanat in 2012 sums up Asoke economics like this. We practice giving rather than being greedy. It is not easy to overcome this mind that habitually tends towards developing more greed, so we have to be watchful of our mind all the time. Venerable Bodhiraksha advised, when the customers were in trouble in times of economic crisis, we should have compassion for them, give and help them more than at other times. If we had the ability to give, we should give. Don't get trapped in a mind of cost or profit making too much. Goodwill markets provide an intriguing Buddhist alternative business model, privileging of merit and ultimately societal well-being and happiness, and this is what this conference ultimately is about. So, the privileging of these factors above profit maximization. The Asoke community, through its goodwill markets, is able to successfully engage the urban population, and particularly in Bangkok, in Santi Asoke. Here, an alternative to consumerism and capitalism is given as a living example. Buddhist spirituality, as lived meditation and compassion, hence become tangible for the increasingly disenfranchised urban masses, as socio-economic lifestyles of societal benefit and inner peace through moderation and contentedness. I come to my conclusion, and I hope I have saved some time. So, because you all want to have lunch. The Asoke movement and its anti-consumerist stance and the propagation of ascetic self-reliance based on veganism, organic agriculture, and meritist economy allow us to interpret Asoke in context of contemporary Thai, eco-Buddhist, and social engaged Buddhist thinking and activism. Asoke's meritist economic model of autonomous eco-mindfulness and its counter-consumerist virtuoso radicalism promises to become fruitful to future research into capitalism-resistant Buddhisms. And just to a side note, you know that especially transnational and Western Buddhism has been criticized by Slavoj Žižek as having become fetishes of late capitalist neoliberalism. And I think it's very important that we shine a line on Buddhist countermodels and resistance to capitalism, capitalist exploitation. In the wider context, Asoke's conscious decision to dissociate from the deleterious spiral of late capitalist consumerism, which fuels transnationally environmental destruction and economic dependency on corporate industrial agriculture, or I could actually say on the corporate industrial agricultural complex, outing myself as a Marxist. All this is noteworthy as counter-cultural, eco-religious praxis. With this, I stop. Thank you very much. I hope I saved some time.